Hi, this is Michael Jacobs, and welcome to Essential Golf. We're going to talk a little bit about how to practice. People always want to improve, yet they might not use their practice time as efficiently as they would like. So I think if we share both of our expertise, Erica Larkin, we could give people some useful information. And when I'm working with golfers and I try to set a practice program for them, I try to keep it down into two basic levels. Level one would be, are we trying to change a movement of the body or the club? So there's going to be a lot of mental focus on maybe some small moves or some different muscles that are going to move in the body, or the club, or the way that we're moving the club. So that focus is going to be very intense. It's going to be very conscious, and performance of the shots is less important in that particular setting. So when you're working on things, let's say, like I was going to have somebody, for example, change how their right arm might move into the ball, that's going to throw off their usual timing, and they're learning how to coordinate a new movement at that particular time. So the performance of the practice isn't our main concern. It's changing and coordinating a new movement to eventually add that into the golf game to perform better. So if your focus is going to be to add a new movement or coordinate a new movement, I call that coordinated practice, where you're going to go and spend your time trying to coordinate a new movement. And that's all that you would do in that session. So a lot of golfers would benefit from making smaller, steadier swings, maybe just doing a lot of rehearsals. Like I'll have a lot of students make a backswing and then calibrate and coordinate how they would come into impact and what their body would look like. So that's coordinated practice. Next would be performance type practice. All right, we feel like we've coordinated the movements that we need at this time, and now we're going to try to see how we could perform. So now we're focusing in on the flight pattern of the ball, or distance measuring and short game stuff. I do give people a word of warning that driving range balls at the golf range might not fly as far, so you definitely want to maybe work on distance control a different way, or try to normalize what is the distance of the range ball that you're using versus the ball you actually play. So when I'm at my own range, I'll ask the people what they play, and I'll try to tell them the gap distance between that and the real ball that they're using. How about you, Erica?
Well, generally speaking, I would recommend to my students when they're going out to practice to start small and then work up to big, meaning start with a short club like a wedge, maybe even chip around the green a little bit, warm up your body, and then work into your fairway woods and driver swing. So you're not going kind of all out right from the get-go in your practice time. But along the lines of what Mike is saying too, I usually call different kinds of practice by some different terms. I talk about it in terms of block practice and random practice. So whether you're working on your full swing or short game around the green, putting, you can definitely spend some of your time working on drills, maybe coordinating movement patterns, and a setting that would be just hitting golf balls, maybe to the same target from a flat lie in a controlled setting. So that would be called block practice. That's what a lot of people tend to just default to, but they never randomize their practice. So once you've got a handle on new movements or what you're feeling in your swing, and you feel like you're getting more consistency striking the ball better, controlling your direction, then it's time to move around, meaning get yourself in the rough, get yourself on an uneven lie, go out on the golf course and drop some extra golf balls and practice out on the golf course. If you're around the green, instead of chipping from one spot for 10 balls to the same flag, maybe you're going to work on hitting random 10 shots around the green from different lies to different pins. So you don't give yourself that extra chance to try to get the mulligan and do better. You're trying to test yourself to see if you can do better on the first try and go through the decision-making process like you would on the golf course. So it's more practicing like you play, so that when you get out to play, you can play more like you've practiced. So practice with a purpose, whether it's to change your movement, to make it a little bit more realistic, as if you're transferring your skills to the golf course, but know what you're out there to accomplish, and then go ahead and set a time and set a space for yourself to do that.
Yeah, and a lot of the people that I work with, I think they're pretty smart, and I think that I let them develop their own practice routines. I often say, if you're going to go watch golf, at a local tournament, or you're going to watch the pros when they come to town, sit at the range instead of going out to the golf course. We watch golf on TV and we watch them playing, and very rarely do you see how they practice. So that's always an interesting thing to do. I think the separation between coordinating movements and learning to play better are the two deciding factors. So hopefully that little bit of information will help you practice better.